Sindbad was a sailor full of adventure and curiosity. One day, Sindbad and his crew decided to take a break on a lush, green island they came across during their voyage. The island looked peaceful and inviting, with beautiful tall trees and sweet-smelling flowers all around. The birds chirped joyfully, and the ocean breeze felt like a gentle hug. As they stepped onto the soft sandy beach, Sindbad and his men did not notice anything unusual at first. They started gathering fresh fruits hanging from the trees and collecting water from a crystal-clear stream. Suddenly, one of the crew members, Ollie, shouted out with a surprise. "Look over there," he pointed excitedly. "Monkeys! Hundreds of them!" Sindbad squinted his eyes to see more clearly, and indeed, there were hundreds of monkeys, all with bright eyes, perched on branches high above them. They were all watching the sailors with great interest. These were no ordinary monkeys, it seemed, for their eyes glimmered with intelligence, and they moved with surprising grace. Something feels odd," Sindbad murmured, scratching his chin thoughtfully. The monkeys didn't appear aggressive, yet their persistent gaze made Sindbad uneasy. He decided to proceed with caution. As the crew was busy gathering supplies, a tiny monkey suddenly plopped down right in front of Sindbad, holding out a shiny, golden fruit. Sindbad kneeled down, intrigued by the monkey's offer. "What do you want?" he asked curiously. The small monkey chattered softly, then pointed towards the towering mountain at the center of the island. Sindbad pondered for a moment. "Looks like the little fellow wants us to explore further," said Sindbad, glancing at his crew. "Let's head to that mount." With curious minds, they followed the curious monkey's lead deep into the island. As they climbed the mountain, they discovered hidden treasures, ancient carvings, and mysterious trails waiting to be explored. The monkeys stayed with them, playfully guiding their path, revealing not just the island's treasures, but stories untold. As the adventure unfolded, the mystery of the island's past, its inhabitants, and its hidden wisdom slowly unraveled. Sindbad and his crew realized that this strange encounter with the monkeys was a gateway to a new adventure on this magical and mysterious island, where secrets were waiting to be discovered. In the middle of a vibrant jungle, where Sindbad and his determined crew were exploring, the air was filled with an unusual hustle and bustle. Suddenly, a cacophony erupted from the treetops, disrupting the serene surroundings. The monkeys, with coats shining like the tropical sun, squealed as they swung down gracefully from their green canopies. At first, their presence was an amusing diversion. "Look!" shouted Sindbad, pointing to a particularly naughty monkey trying to balance on one foot while hanging upside down. But within moments, playfulness transformed into chaos. The monkeys were on a mission, a coordinated ransack, it seemed. Gingerly, they snagged colorful fruit from the crew's baskets, grabbing tools with tiny, dexterous fingers. Yet every time they moved towards one pile, a monkey would deftly swipe another item just out of reach. Both astonished and bewildered, the crew stumbled around, each trying to understand this monkey uprising's motive. Some of the troop flickered their eyes with a mischievous glint, showing more interest in the game than in hunger or need. Sindbad slowly approached the leader of the pack, a grand monkey with a tuft of silver hair like a captain's plume. He tried soothingly talking to him. "Hello, friend. Care to return our tools? We really need them on our journey." The grand monkey tilted his head, considering Sindbad's proposal with a glint of curiosity, but the surrounding chatter became frenzied and resistant. A strong bond of monkey camaraderie would not yield to Sindbad's entreaties. Surrounded amidst the melons of sound and movement, Sindbad rallied his crew to form a circle back-to-back, keeping an eye on the outrageous troop. "We need a plan," whispered Sindbad. "These creatures are smarter than they seem. We can't fight them in their territory. Let's try offering them something more enticing." Using his own quick thinking, Sinbad beckoned towards a crate brimming with exotic treats from their travels, ripe mangoes and crunchy coconuts. With a flourish, he displayed them to the monkeys, who paused mid-chaos, their round eyes riveted on the tempting platter. The grand monkey, with an air of authority, screeched, and the troop hesitated, considering the offer. Sinbad's heart raced, forming a silent plea that this peace offering would work. Finally, to his relief, one by one, the monkeys relented, returning the tools and other pilfered items in exchange for the mouth-watering goodies. As the last chattering monkey retreated with their prize into the trees, Sinbad and his crew collected themselves, the jungle returning to its quiet hum. Well, chuckled Sinbad, it seems diplomacy and fruit are a universal language. With everything restored more or less in its proper place, they resumed their journey, wiser and more prepared for whatever adventures awaited ahead. Once upon a time, on the faraway island of Zamra, there was a group of monkeys that lived in the treetops, giggling and playing all day. Among them, there was one special monkey that wore a shiny golden crown, signaling it was their leader. His name was King Bana. One day, a brave and adventurous sailor named Sindbad arrived at the island. He had heard stories of hidden treasures, sparkling gems, and fantastical creatures inside the dense jungle. As Sindbad explored the island, watching out for snakes and other mysteries, he came across the troop of monkeys playing between branches. Entranced by the monkeys' tricks and giggles, Sindbad noticed King Bana. The bright crown on the monkeys had glittered in the sunshine. Curious and kind-hearted, Sindbad approached the royal monkey and offered him a ripe, juicy peach. The monkeys around him chattered excitedly as King Bana sniffed the scent of the sweet fruit. With a wise nod, King Bana accepted Sindbad's offering. What happened next was beyond anyone's wildest dreams. King Bana waved his little brown paw, urging Sindbad to follow him along with his monkey kingdom. Curious, and hoping his instincts were right, Sindbad embarked on a whimsical journey through the lush green forest. They zipped under branches, leapt over babbling brooks, and across sun-drenched clearings, until King Bana led Sindbad to an ancient, vine-covered cave hidden behind a waterfall. The cool mist from the falls tickled his face as the monkeys darted excitedly around the mouth of the cave. Inside the cave, glittering in the beam of sunlight that peeked through cracks, was treasure beyond belief. Golden chalices, silver coins, and jewels of every color imaginable were stacked high. Sindbad's eyes widened in astonishment. "Thank you, King Bana," Sindbad smiled, bowing to the wise monkey. "I promise to share this treasure with the people who need it the most." King Bana tilted his head, seemingly understanding Sindbad's words. With a playful jump, King Bana signaled for the monkeys to start their journey back home, leaving Sindbad to celebrate his wondrous discovery and the kindness that brought him there. From that day on, the tale of the wise monkey and Sindbad's adventure spread across lands, teaching others about friendship, generosity, and the magical power of trust. And King Bana, well, he went back to leading his merry band of monkeys and wearing his golden crown, always ready for another extraordinary adventure. Once upon a time, in the land of endless seas, lived Sindbad the sailor, a man of great courage and adventure. One bright morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Sindbad and his lively crew found themselves marooned on a verdant island. As they ventured deeper, they discovered the island was not barren, but filled with glistening treasure hidden under large banana leaves. But the island had guardians, not fierce dragons or sly wolves, but clever monkeys with wise eyes and swift hands. The leader of the monkeys, a gray old monkey perched in a mango tree, eyed Sindbad and his crew suspiciously. No one spoke, but the air was thick with the rustling sounds of the jungle. "If you want the treasure," chattered the old monkey, "you must first solve the riddle of the forest." His voice echoed through the trees as his fellow monkeys whispered among themselves. Sindbad, known for his quick thinking and clever mind, nodded with a confident smile. "Tell us the riddle, wise monkey." With a devious grin, the old monkey recited, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go out. What am I?" Sindbad pondered, his brow furrowed in concentration while the breeze ruffled the leaves around them. His crew stood in tense anticipation until Sindbad's eyes sparkled with understanding. "A keyboard!" he exclaimed, breaking the tension with laughter. The monkeys chittered in delight, acknowledging Sindbad's wisdom. "Clever sailor, you may take the treasure. But remember, some gold is the gift of the forest spirits. Treat it well, for treasures and curses often sail the same wind," warned the old monkey. As Sindbad and his crew packed their ships with golden gifts, the monkeys waved, chirping and calling their farewells from the treetops. The crew set sail with the sun glittering on the horizon, the treasure safely aboard. Just as the island disappeared from sight, a chorus of calls echoed over the waves. "Sail far, Sindbad," chittered the monkey voices on the wind, "but heed our warning, never return." Once upon a time, in a land surrounded by the shimmering sea, there was a brave explorer named Sindbad. Sindbad was known far and wide for his daring voyages across the oceans and his encounters with mystical islands. He had a crew of the most loyal sailors who would follow him to the ends of the earth. One bright, sunny day, Sindbad and his crew set sail on a new adventure, guided by the promise of a hidden treasure that lay beyond the horizon. They sailed for days across the blue waters, battling fierce storms and navigating through foggy nights with only the stars to guide them. Finally, they reached an island that was unlike any they had seen before. It was lush and green, with trees that seemed to whisper in the breeze and birds singing songs that no human had ever heard. Excited by the thought of treasure, they eagerly began to explore. As they ventured deeper into the island, they encountered something unexpected. A giant turtle appeared before them, its shell adorned with seaweeds and corals. It looked as ancient as the island itself. The sailors, startled, considered the turtle a threat and prepared to defend themselves. But Sindbad stopped them with a gentle wave of his hand. "Observe," he said calmly. "See how the turtle moves not to harm but to explore, just like us." Curious, Sindbad approached the turtle, gently placed his hand on its shell, and whispered a few words. Amazingly, the turtle's eyes softened, and it slowly lowered its head, as if acknowledging Sindbad's message. In return for Sindbad's kindness, the turtle revealed a hidden path that led them to the most magnificent treasure they had ever seen, glittering gems and golden artifacts, the likes of which they had never imagined. Returning to their ship with the treasure, Sindbad realized something more important than riches. He taught his crew the vital lesson of respecting nature and its creatures. From that day on, he shared not just the treasure, but also the wisdom that even the smallest act of kindness could turn enemies into friends. And so, Sindbad and his crew continued their adventures, not just as seekers of fortune, but as guardians of the bonds between the sea, its creatures, and themselves.